I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated.
Well, welcome everyone this evening. We'll have a roll call now. Ms. Burkhart?
Yes.
Mr. Burdick? Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Story? So we have 2 absent tonight. Item number 5 is our approval of minutes. You had that in your packet. Is there any corrections, additions, anything that, if not, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
I have a motion from Ms. Burkhart. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Timmons. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, carries. Okay, item number 6 is here from our public. If anyone has anything they'd like to say, now's the time. Okay, we'll move on. Item number 7, we have reports from our committees, our police chief report. He has some special guests tonight. I'll let him introduce them.
Well, let me get through the numbers real quick.
Okay,
first.
sure, absolutely.
The stats from September, there were 262 traffic citations with 110 warnings, 24 misdemeanor arrests, 6 DUI or drug arrests, and 90 calls for service. So we had a pretty active month. 7 K9 deployments, and a host of little things that take up way too much time. So also, Captain Crocker was not here tonight. I think finally being out of the academy, he probably had a lot to catch up on. So I'll give his report as well on the fire side. Again, for the month of September, 10 calls for service, 280 logged hours of duty time donated, which I'm pretty sure is going to be higher than that. That's just the ones that remember to sign the log. He also wanted to know that the THSO grant was approved for $12,500 for new battery-powered extrication equipment, which is going to be a huge blessing for the community. Much easier to use, much more reliable. November, the pre-planning will begin again, and a lot of the personnel are going to be around town, going to businesses, reviewing last year's plans, making upgrades, updates on them. So you'll probably see a lot of fire personnel running around for the next month or so. And they're going to be at, well, we're all going to be at the Halloween event, but they're going to be giving out fire prevention pamphlets and books for kids as well there. And last, he also, Captain Crocker wanted me to share with the entire city staff a sincere thank you for not only giving him the opportunity to attend the academy, but to all the members of the department on both sides for covering his duties for 12 weeks while he was gone. So that is September's number for public safety. What I'd like to do at this point, just to make sure I'm in compliance, can I ask that the rules be suspended just in case I get out of sync here?
Yes, can we have the rules suspended? Okay.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not sure exactly how the agenda is laid out, so I wanted to make sure I
That's fine.
step off them. So as you know, over the last several years, we've worked closer and closer with NAHT in Nashville. And last year, out of our drug fund, we gave a donation. We're asking to up that a little bit this year. I don't want to introduce too much of what they do because I'd like them to explain it, but they are working more towards being here more presently for a lot of the things that we're encountering. And we even had an incident here this past week, I think it was this past week or the week before, which in my humble opinion, I think it was most likely something related to trafficking, but unfortunately we couldn't prove it at that time, and we can't force them to become a victim every time. But it is here, and I would like to introduce both Christina and Amber here from NAHT, and I'm going to let them kind of give you a little explanation about how their organization runs, how it started, and what they're able to provide. Good?
Okay, that's going to be easier for me to stand up. So I am Christina Meadows. I'm the Director of Operations at the Nashville Anti-Human Trafficking Coalition. And so what we do is we rescue and restore women and children from the bondage of human trafficking and addiction. And our strategy, how we do that, is we rescue through survivor-informed interventions. So case in point, that night when he was out speaking to a potential victim, had a survivor, someone who's been through what what they have been through, could have spoke to this young lady, actually been relatable and met at on common ground, saying, hey, I understand, I've been where you've been, I'm out on the other side, and it's okay, you can trust us. That's kind of a game changer, our secret sauce. I'm a survivor of human trafficking myself. I actually met Dennis out in that lifestyle, and he has arrested me before. We have a long history of what it looks like with law enforcement meeting potential victims, and how law enforcement really today is caring for these victims and trying to help them to receive services. So that could have been a game changer that night had he had someone like me or Amber alongside him to speak with that potential victim. So we rescued through survivor-informed interventions. We restore through survivor-informed curriculum and relational wraparound support. So what we do, once we have identified a victim and able to get them out of that trafficking situation, place them into a detox or residential program for a substance abuse issue, drugs and trafficking go hand in hand. Both and so 99.9% of the women that we have rescued report using a substance before, during, or after the time of trafficking. So trafficking doesn't look like it does on TV here in the States. It's not snatch and grab. Now that does happen. What it looks like here is by force, fraud, or coercion, by grooming, trauma bonding, brainwashing. That's what happened in our stories, by online exploitation, trying to get you in through online, things like that. So here, with the drugs and the trafficking going hand in hand, what we're trying to do is bring them into the restorative side of things. After we get them treated for the substance abuse issue, we bring them out of the detox and residential program. We support them the entire time that they're there. And then they go into what we call comprehensive aftercare. Once they come out of jails or treatment centers, we really wrap around them, build a team around them, different types of support like sponsors for AA, NA, a therapist for their trauma, different types of people alongside them. Spiritual journey, we are a faith-based organization. We believe all roads of justice and healing lead to Jesus, although they do not have to be a believer to receive services. They can believe in anything. We just want them to know up front that we do believe in Jesus. And then we educate the community, like we're doing now, to recognize human trafficking, to understand that what human trafficking looks like here in the States. And so we have an Educate to Recognize program where we go into middle schools and high schools, and we're really doing prevention on that side of things, educating the community of what it looks like. And so we talk to parents the night before, and we'll have a Q&A with parents. We'll educate them like I am doing today. And then parents will have questions about online apps, different things like that, which I'm sure Alex Furter does an amazing job talking about what that looks like, right? So we do something like that and go in the schools like he does. And we have resources and pamphlets that we give them, which you guys, by the way, I'm going to hand these out, are on. So the city of Dover has supported that through your contribution. And here's some resources. Inside you'll find a child ID kit. And in this child ID kit, you got you guys this little emblem on there. So in these kits will go, you can hand them out to many people. These go out to schools and kids and parents and everywhere we go. They'll go in hotel rooms, they'll go out in the community all across nationwide. And so it gives parents and it gives potential victims. Inside these kits are fingerprints. They take the kids' fingerprints, they get DNA. You know, it talks about the apps that are high risk. It gives you conversations to have with your children about what it looks like for online grooming and trafficking, and how predators are seeking our children, are coming after our kids while we're sitting right next to them through the telephone. So those are some much needed resources that we're able to provide at NAHT on the prevention side of things. And then we have a job opportunity. We have a social enterprise called Sweet Daisy Pettifor Shop, where we employ survivors of human trafficking that come through our program. And so how me and Dennis have really been talking about what it could possibly look like to have some of these resources come here, go into the jails, talk to some of the women that have been impacted by the drugs, because most often women think they only have a substance abuse problem. They don't understand that because of the drugs, that there was a man behind the scenes exploiting that vulnerability for substance abuse and trafficking them through drugs or money in that manner. So we would love to educate the community on it, educate some of these women, get them out of jail, bring them to Nashville, into programming in Nashville, save the taxpayers money, you know, once they're coming out of the jail and they're really doing something to actually impact recidivism. I had a 15-page rap sheet. You know, I got more felonies than I can count. game changer for me was this organization, that wraparound team, really, and to see thrivers on staff, women who've been through what I've been through out on the other side, showing me that it is possible, that I can recover from something like this. And it's a game changer, and there's a whole community of that in Nashville. So we'd like to partner and bring some of Nashville here, some of the resources of Nashville here, and bring some of the people that are suffering here out. And now what I can tell you is trafficking is here. I was trafficked here. I came here, I met people here, we've rescued women out of here, brought them to Nashville. We've also have had a partnership with the place in Paris where we brought a couple of women to the Paris Treatment Center. So we're already partnering here in Dover. So I just want you to know that. So and that trafficking has hit Dover because of me, because of the women that we've rescued out of here. There is trafficking already here. Now it's not as wide and prevalent, but it's a hop, skip, and a jump away, especially with the internet nowadays. And all you got to do is get on there, and you can order up a girl just by a push of a button on the internet. And it's just that easy. And so NAHT would love to be a support for you guys. So thank you. That's all I got. Thank you.
Did you want to speak? No, she does not want to.
She covered everything.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you very much. That was very good. Thank you. Yes, very informative. Okay. Number 8 is her old business.
We're good.
Okay. Number 9, new business. Anything?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Resolution, you want,
I was going to do that in my report, but if you want to
Yeah.
do it as new business, that's fine.
yes. It's resolution 68324. Basically, this is establishing a couple other websites for our surplus property policy. Right now, we do gov deals, and there's some other opportunities now to list those with a little bit cheaper commission sales. So we'll be adding the all surplus liquidity services and public surplus services. The two that we want to add to our policy.
Okay. Do you want to approve them individually, or you want to do all 3 of them together? Because they're A, B, and C, so they're under the line item.
Separately.
Want to do them separately? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 683-24?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Timmons, to have a second? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item number B.
It would be 68424. These are some surplus items that we need to go ahead and get rid of, sell some old trucks, air compressor, landscaping blocks. We have an old fire truck and one of the Ford Explorers that we'd like to get permission to go ahead and put on the services and get them sold. And the minimum bids, as y'all can see out to the right, is just your minimum bid they have to meet. Don't mean that's the minimum it's going to bring, but we're hoping to at least get to that point on the per item price.
Do I have any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Farquhar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Timmons. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item C.
Ordinance number 490-24. This is a ordinance to amend the fiscal year 24-25. One's for the drug fund, to amend that fund for the donation. And the enterprise funds, you'll see off to your left. And most of that, all that is equipment. All that's grant money that we receive, so it's not costing the city any money. The original amount budgeted in those was for some trucks and a trailer that a year ago when we got prices on them, they increased about $4,000 or $5,000 each since we purchased them. So we have the money there. Like I said, it's not costing us anything. It's just grant money we receive for all the equipment.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Timmons. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Burkhardt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Thank you, Charles. Item number 10 is the communications from the mayor. These are a couple of things that, as in violation of the sunshine law, I've not been able to talk to any of you, but Charles and I have talked a little bit, and I feel like this is kind of informative, that if you would like to go to Charles and give your input, it's nothing that we have on the agenda tonight, but the first thing is the food trucks. Back several years ago, it was brought before us that we needed to charge a fee for the food trucks. And it's not really working real well. So I think Miss Olivia's working on something that we could compromise with. And I don't know if you have that with you this evening that you would.
I do.
Okay, okay. I would like for you to address it, please. Yes, please.
So the basic premise of the food truck permit was to have the assurance that the trucks were inspected, especially if they're serving food. They need to have their health department inspection, that they had insurance, I believe even a portable fire extinguisher. There were certain ground rules. Those were good and solid steps for the general public for safety, to prevent bad actors or mishaps. So I think it's wise that the town of Dover consider retaining some kind of criteria, although it's up to the council whether they choose to reduce the fee or no fee, but there needs to be some way for the town of Dover to assure the safety. That's for protection of the city and protection of the town of Dover, but that would be a consideration if you want to modify what's in place.
That's what I was, because Charles and I have talked about it, and I don't know if it's so much of the fee, but someone may decide they want to do some type of appreciation or something like that, and then they have it, and we don't know until it's there. And usually those trucks have been inspected. I know you can't always base that on that, but I would just like to see something, and I would like to recommend that maybe next month if we could have something that would be, that we could kind of modify it. And because we're certainly not trying to keep them out of here. That's something that, we want to welcome everything we can, but we also want to go by your recommendation too. So I would just like to see if that's possible, that you could look at something and maybe come back next month, and then y'all look at it and see, and maybe we could decide something then to see about modifying it. Am I correct, Charles? Okay. Okay, I just want to give a bit, okay. And then the other thing that during all of the disasters and the flooding and everything, during this time, and I want to commend our community. Everybody has stepped up, but I actually reached out to a mayor's office in Cott County, and I spoke with a young lady and with the mayor, and they were just so appreciative, but they also had said that what they needed today, they would need something tomorrow. So I went to Charles and I said, would there be anything, we talked probably 30 minutes, and I suggested something to her that maybe if the council and that we could work on to maybe pass a resolution for a disaster and do it in an amount, so that, because I know it's like when there's a death in the family, everyone crowds around you. And then in several weeks, everyone goes back to work, but the need is still there. So my suggestion and my heart says, 3 months from now, they're still going to have a need. And it's not that they don't need it now, but if we had a resolution that we could pass for a disaster to help in an area with the disaster and have an amount, that maybe that would be something that you all would want to think about, and maybe we could have on the agenda for next month. So you can talk to Charles. I know we can't make a decision, but that's something that's really been on my heart. I know I have seen on TV, I've seen pictures, I have actually seen footage, but when I talked to that lady and that mayor, my heart has been very burdened because they actually lived through it. And it's just, it is terrible. And we prayed on the phone, but it has really touched my heart. And I feel like, I told her, I said, you know, we may not have a lot to give. We're a small town, but we have a big heart. And we would really like to try to help in some capacity. So that's when I went to Charles, and this is something I wanted y'all to be thinking about, and maybe with our attorney here that we can come up with the resolution that we could in the future. And even, like I said, in 3 months, 3 years, you know, there's still going to be need for what has happened with them. So that's just something I would really like to see happen. And other than the Fall Festival being October 26th from 5 to 8, you can still get your booth. That's all I have. Item number 11 is from the city, our communications from our city manager.
I just have a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Ms. Christina, for coming and speaking. We appreciate everything you're all doing. Also, we have 2 projects. Our lift station projects is opening up for bid October 24th. Replace 2 of our lift stations and do some sewer line repairs. And our AMI meter projects will be opening October 24th also. So finally, you know, many months we've been saying it's going to get here. Well, now we're getting ready to open it. So we'll start to work on some of them projects. So just wanted to give an update there to the council. That's all I have.
Okay. One more thing with Miss Christina and them being here tonight. We actually were at a women's conference this past weekend, and Sunday Jim Tebow and his wife actually spoke, and they are big advocates for human trafficking.
Yes, ma'am,
So-
we partner with them.
Yeah, okay, because I know that is something she really, and he both, they told stories of things that they had done. So I wanted to thank y'all for bringing, the timing was perfect, because it was very touching and moving that they are such an advocate for the human trafficking. So thank y'all for coming. Is there anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Burkhardt. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Timmons. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.